Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Nasdaq Spotlight, live from the Microsoft Ignite conference. I'm your host, Anna Gonzalez, and we are continuing our conversations today with Michael Landtroop. He is the VP of Global Strategic Alliance at Verint. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's start off. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Sure. So Verint is a provider, a global provider of what we call customer engagement solutions. So that touches on a number of different things. We deliver that on the cloud or on-prem. But we focus really in four main categories. So the first would be workforce engagement. The second is voice of the customer, customer experience. The third is really intelligent interactions, intelligent self-service. And then the fourth is compliance and fraud. So we cover all of those for our customers in a number of different ways.
And tell us a little bit more about what brings you to the conference and how you partner with Microsoft overall.
Sure. So we've been a long-time Microsoft partner from a technology perspective. So most of our applications are built on a Microsoft .NET framework. Foundationally, everything's on Microsoft. We're very excited this week. We announced that we're entering the Microsoft One Commercial Partner Program as a co-sell ready partner. So we announced that yesterday. The benefit for us in this case, and I think the benefit for Microsoft, is this partnership now gives us the ability to work directly with the Microsoft global sales team to really expand customer engagement solutions out into the marketplace. So Microsoft talks a lot about digital transformation, AI, cloud. These are all things that we actually help our customers with, and we think working much more closely with Microsoft is going to help just drive this into the marketplace. So we're very excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So can you tell me about a specific project that you're working on that you're most excited about?
Yeah, so one of the things we're highlighting here is financial compliance. So we've worked for a number of years with Microsoft in what we would call unified communications and collaboration space. So Skype for Business is an example. So Verint as a company provides a capture technology that helps reach compliance initiatives and help people actually maintain compliance. So financial services companies, companies in the healthcare space, and a number of companies. So we actually capture the call side of Skype for Business, the chat, the IM, the screens, the meetings. We can then put business rules and analytics on top of that. And it really allows organizations that need to capture that information to really focus in and deliver that. So we're also now expanding that into Microsoft Teams, so we're very excited about that. We're in the initial stages of that, so that's a lot of the reason we're here this week. So.
That's fantastic, and you mentioned you're working with clients globally, and when you talk to them, or maybe in the industry at large, what are some of the challenges you're seeing when it comes to artificial intelligence?
So for us, what we see a lot is companies focused on how do they take these high-value tasks or high-value employees that they really need to be driving change in the organization and try to offload some of those lower-value tasks that they work on. So companies come to us a lot with that, and these can be tasks from an internal operational standpoint, as well as things that actually touch the end customer. So in the end customer scenario, we've all kind of called up somebody or been online for customer service. Unfortunately, cable companies always have the bad rap. So we actually help those organizations with some of this automation and AI by being able to automate some of those pieces of information so that a customer can actually answer questions on their own, offloads that task from the operational side of the organization, so it allows the organization to do it much more operationally efficient, but also drive that really excellent customer service with the end customer. So that's the big goal for us, is really helping them deliver those exceptional experiences for their end customers, as well as focusing on managing even their own internal employees.
So does that mean replacing customer service reps with like chatbots or artificial intelligence in some way or fashion?
In some case, it does, but again, what we've seen customers doing is not really focusing on headcount reduction as much as they're focusing on, can we take tasks that are very repetitive, that happen a lot, anticipate those in advance, and then be able to go and address those with a chatbot as an example. Again, better for the customer because they can get to an answer much quicker, and better for this organization because, again, they can take those resources that they have in place today and actually focus them on those higher value tasks.
So maybe it's that age-old, did you restart the computer or is it plugged in? But then when it gets more complicated, then that's when you need that human touch. Yeah.
Good examples.
So when you think about the space that you're working in, it's absolutely fascinating, ever-changing. What most excites you about what's coming up in the future?
So I think it's this focus on automation and AI. So I think the interesting thing is you see it in the enterprise space, but I've also got some very good friends that run nonprofits. So a very small nonprofit, and I was talking to a friend of mine who runs one of these the other day. He's looking at putting automation in place just to deal with some of the tasks that he focuses on. So how can, again, really tight budgets, how can I use automation and technology to solve some of those problems so that I don't, again, have all this resource focus on stuff that just detracts from the overall mission of the organization. So you can imagine that if a nonprofit sees that kind of value, what you can see from an enterprise perspective. So that's the piece that excites me is this technology is really, really cool and really interesting, but getting these organizations to take the effort to put it in place and then drive that value, that's really where, for us, great opportunity, and we're excited to be trying to drive this into the market.
Absolutely. So let's switch gears a little bit,
Sure.
Go into our lightning round. So what app can you absolutely not live without?
So mine's going to be a strange one. So I know you said that people, a lot of people are like Outlook, can't live without my email.
Yeah.
For me, though, there's an application called Time Buddy. So I spend a lot of time dealing with people all over the globe. So it's a very simple app that shows me in an instant kind of what time zone it is in every different city. So if you're trying to schedule a call or get people in India and people in the UK and people in the US on the phone, it's invaluable to try to do that. So that's the simplest one. I literally use that every day.
I am planning a trip right now where that is exactly the solution I needed. So thank you for sharing that. What do you like to do when you're not working?
So right now I spend a lot of time with my kids who are both grown, enjoying that. But I think the one big thing for me is I spend a lot of time with some nonprofits. These are nonprofits focused on education and really life skills, leadership programs for youth and really underserved or underprivileged youth. A couple of organizations I work with in Atlanta that are just very, very passionate about. Very exciting to see that. So I think when we talk about technology and making sure that's available, you can tell there's an underserved population that maybe doesn't have access to it. And I think some of these nonprofits are doing great jobs in really driving that into some of these other kids, giving them access to some of this technology so that they'll, again, contribute to the workforce at some point.
Yeah,
So
that makes so much sense in building that pipeline for that next generation. And speaking of, for the next generation that's watching, thinking maybe they want to be in your shoes one day, what advice do you have for them?
I think the simplest thing is really just, don't be scared to embrace technology. So technology can be scary sometimes. My wife laughs because she would consider herself closed-armed to technology. So I think the big thing is embrace technology, and you don't have to be in the technology business for that to be important. So one of my kids is actually in the commercial construction business as a contractor. He uses technology every single day. My daughter works for a public accounting firm. Same thing. So I think this embracing technology is extremely important. Great news is for most of these kids, they've grown up with technology in their hands in the form of a smartphone.
Right.
So just embrace it and love it, and I think you can achieve just about anything you want to.
Well, Michael, those are great words to wrap up on. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more conversations right here from Microsoft Ignite.